Welcome to Value Plays Only, where chromatic orrery is just for color fixing. Today, we have Dan playing Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. This deck looks to swarm the board with ninjas, locking down the board with punishing life tax effects until it can beat down its opponents. His hand contains an Orcish Bowmasters, Mox Amber, Chrome Mox, Submerge, Force of Will, Force of Negation, and a Misty Rainforest. John is playing a different Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. This deck looks to control the table while flipping big cards off the top for massive damage. His hand contains a Bloodchief Ascension, Null Rod, Deadly Rollick, Sakashima Student, Commandeer, Verdant Catacombs, and Shizo, Death Storehouse. Nick, from the top deckers, is playing Malcolm, Key9 Navigator, and Vial Smasher the Fierce. This Grixis Pirate deck looks to win fast. It can lean on Thassa's Oracle, Underworld Breach, Glenhorn Buccaneer, or a Trickery Charm Loop. His hand contains a Ragavan Nibble Pilferer, Curiosity, Imperial Recruiter, City of Brass, Polluted Delta, and Volcanic Island. His Luna Mulligan is a Beseech the Mirror. Tyler is playing Marneus Calgar. This Esper value pile is chock-a-block full of token generators that Marneus turns into card advantage. It can win with Thassa's Oracle or Hullbreaker Horror loops. His hand contains a Fairy Mastermind, Ranger Captain of Eos, Demonic Consultation, Bloodstained Mire, Gemstone Caverns, Scalding Tarn, and Flooded Strand. And with that, let's see some value plays. Tyler has a pregame action, putting Gemstone Caverns onto the battlefield, exiling Scalding Tarn. Dan starts things off with a Misty Rainforest, his land for turn. He pays a life and cracks it, fetching up an Underground Sea. Dan casts a Chrome Box, imprinting Force and Negation as it enters. Dan then passes the turn. John plays a Verdant Catacombs, his land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up an Underground Sea. He casts a Bloodchief Ascension. The table groans, and John passes the turn. Nick plays a Volcanic Island, his land for turn. He casts a Ragavan Nibble Pilferer. Nick passes the turn. Tyler plays Bloodstained Mire, his land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Tundra. Tyler passes the turn. In his end step, Dan flashes in an Orcish Bowmasters. It Anderson triggers to shoot Ragavan for 1, killing it. The turn then moves to Dan. Dan untaps and draws. He casts a Mox Amber. He goes to combat swinging his Orc army at John. John declares no blocks, and Dan activates the Commander Ninjutsu ability of his commander, Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. It enters trapped and attacking John, and he takes the damage. Yuriko triggers to reveal a Seagate Restoration, with each opponent taking 7. In his second main phase, Dan plays Seagate Reborn as land for turn, into play untap, paying 3 life. He casts a Fairy Seer. It enters and triggers to scry 2, leaving 1 on top. He then passes the turn. In his end step, Bloodchief gets its first counter. John untaps and draws. He plays an Underground River as land for turn. He casts a Null Rod. The table groans louder, but John points to the bigger threat of the other Yuriko and passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. He plays a Polluted Delta as land for turn. Nick passes the turn, and in his end step, Tyler flashes in a Fairy Mastermind. The turn then moves to Tyler. Tyler untaps and draws. He plays a Flooded Strand as land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Scrubland. He goes to combat and swings Mastermind at John. He takes the damage. In his second main phase, Tyler casts a Ranger Captain of Eos. It enters and triggers to search up a Mockingbird to hand, threatening to kill Dan's Bowmaster. Tyler then passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He goes to combat swinging Yuriko and Bowmaster at John. John declares no blocks, and Dan returns his Bowmaster to hand to ninjutsu Covert Technician into play, hiding his Bowman from the clone. John takes the damage. Yuriko triggers twice in Covert triggers. Dan ignores the Covert trigger, and then Yuriko reveals a City Brass, and then reveals a Universal Automaton, with each opponent taking 1. In his second main phase, Dan plays a Mana Confluence as land for turn. He passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He plays Shizo, Death Storehouse as land for turn. He casts a Universal Automaton. John passes the turn. In his end step, Nick pays a life and cracks Polluted Delta, fetching up an Underground Sea. Nick untaps and draws. He plays a Cavern of Souls, naming Pirate as it enters. He looks at his commanders and then back at Null Rod. Nick decides to cast his best commander, Vial Smasher the Fierce. He then passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He plays Morphic Pool as land for turn. He casts a Mockingbird with X=2. It enters as a copy of Yuriko. Tyler goes to combat, swings Ranger Captain and Fairy Mastermind at Dan. He takes the damage, and Tyler passes the turn. In his end step, Bloodchief gets its second counter. Dan untaps and draws. He goes to combat, swinging Yuriko and Covert Technician at John. John takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers twice and Covert triggers. Dan declines Covert and reveals Misplaced Shinobi, with each opponent taking 3, and Roaming Throne with each opponent taking 4. In his second main phase, Dan plays City Brass as land for turn. He casts Orcish Bowmasters. It enters and triggers to ping off Fairy Mastermind. He then passes the turn. In his end step, Bloodchief gets its final and most important counter. John untaps and draws. He asks if anyone wants to let him in. The table tells him to go to hell, and he hardcasts his commander, Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. John then passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. He plays Command Tower as land for turn. He casts Curiosity, targeting Vial Smasher. Vial Smasher triggers to ping Tyler for 1. Curiosity resolves, and Nick then passes the turn. In his instep, Tyler casts Demonic Consultation, naming Force of Will, hoping to keep this up for the impending roaming throne. He exiles the top 6 and doesn't find it. He starts exiling, and exiles, and exiles, and exiles, passing Thassa's Oracle and a lot of good cards until he finds Force of Will, adding it to hand. Bloodchief triggers to drain him for 2. The turn then moves to Tyler. Tyler untaps and draws. He plays Exotic Orchard as land for turn. He opts to hold up mana and pass the turn. In his end step, Dan casts Deadly Relic, targeting Ranger Captain of Eos. In response, Tyler sacrifices Ranger Captain to lock Dan out of casting any more things this turn. Bloodchief drains Tyler for 2. Relic then fizzles, and Bloodchief drains Dan for 2. The turn then moves to Dan. Dan untaps and draws. He casts Roaming Throne. In response, Tyler casts Force of Will, paying life and exiling Swansong as an alternate cost. Dan responds with a Force of Will of his own, paying life and exiling Mistblade Shinobi as an alternate cost. John responds with a Flare of Denial, sacrificing Yuriko as an alternate cost, targeting Throne. Throne is countered and Bloodchief drains Dan for 2. Force counters Force, and Bloodchief drains Dan and Tyler for 2 each. Dan then goes to combat, swinging Fairy Seer, Yuriko, Covert Technician at John. John takes 4, and Yuriko triggers twice, and Dan ignores Covert. The first flip reveals Nanogene Conversion, with each opponent taking 4, and Flooded Strand. The table see another must-answer card coming next turn and tighten their butts. In his second main phase, Dan plays Flooded Strand as land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, Bloodchief triggers. In response, Tyler flashes in an Orcish Bowmasters of his own. It enters and triggers to ping off Dan's Bowman, killing it. Bloodchief drains him for 2. Dan then drains another 2. Finally, Dan fetches up a Water Grave, into play untap, paying 2 life. He casts Universal Automaton. Dan then passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He asks Tyler if he would agree to a Bowmaster truce where they don't ping each other's boards at all, and use them to keep Dan down. Tyler says that sounds good if John will be taking this turn to do that instead of making Yuriko. He then asks Nick if he can get in for one to do this, and Nick also wants to see Dan dead. John goes to combat and swings Automaton at Nick. Nick declares no blocks, and John activates the ninjutsu ability of Sakashima's Student. It enters as a ninja copy of Orcish Bowmasters, and triggers to ping Dan's Automaton, killing it. Bloodchief drains Dan for 2. Nick then takes combat damage. In his second main phase, John recasts Universal Automaton. He then passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. He plays City Brass as land for turn. He casts Imperial Recruiter. Vial Smasher triggers to ping John for 3. Curiosity triggers to draw. 2 Bowmasters trigger to pick off Dan's remaining 1/1s. Bloodchief drains Dan for 2. Imperial Recruiter finally enters and triggers to search up a Thassa's Oracle to hand. The table all slowly point their guns at Nick as he passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He casts his commander, Marneus Calgar. He goes to combat and swings his Flying Yuriko at Dan. Dan takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers to reveal an Underground River to hand. In his second main phase, Tyler plays Underground River as land for turn. He then passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He casts Super Shredder. The table will give this a read, and it resolves. The table will start talking about the known Thassa's Oracle now. Dan says he doesn't have a plan to deal with it right now. John says he has nothing also. They start talking about how they could trade blows with Yuriko to draw some cards. After 5 minutes or so of debate, John agrees to let Covert Technician in so Dan can ninja in another draw engine, and Dan will let John get 2 triggers. They also both agree to not do any tutoring for these flips. Dan goes to combat and swings Covert Technician at John. John declares no blocks, and Dan activates the ninjutsu ability of Ingenious Infiltrator, returning Technician to hand. Super Shredder triggers to get a counter. John takes the damage, and Yuriko and Infiltrator trigger. Dan draws, and 2 Bowmasters trigger to blow Super Shredder out of the water. Bloodchief drains Dan for 2. Yuriko then reveals a Mindbreak trap, with each opponent taking 4. Dan then passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He goes to combat and swings his Orc Army at Nick, and Automaton and his Ninja Bowmaster at Dan. Nick blocks with Recruiter, and John activates the Commander Ninjutsu ability of his commander, Yuriko the Tiger Shadow. They take the damage. Recruiter dies, and Bloodchief and 2 Yuriko triggers go on the stack. John's first flip of this game is Roaming Throne, with each opponent taking 4. The second flip is Vampiric Tutor, with each opponent taking 1. Bloodchief then drains Nick for 2. In his second main phase, John casts Universal Automaton. He then passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. He casts Gamble. Vial Smasher triggers to deal 1 to Tyler, who starts breathing heavier. Nick searches up a card to hand and randomly discards Thassa's Oracle. Bloodchief triggers to drain Nick for 4. Nick can't believe his luck. He plays Otawara, Soaring City as land for turn. He casts a Mystic Remora. With no plans left this game, Nick passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. He casts Tataru Taru. It enters and triggers targeting Nick. Nick and Tyler draw. Tataru, Bowmaster, and Bowmaster trigger. Tyler and John blast Dan and Nick in honor of their Bowmaster alliance that Tyler strongly regrets. Tyler then makes a tap treasure. He plays a Command Tower as land for turn. He casts a Warren Soul Trader. He goes to combat and swings Marneus, Bowmaster, and his Orc Army at John. John takes 12, and Tyler passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He looks around at the abysmal board state. He sees John is under 15, and Dan says it could be Shadow on top. He goes to combat and swings his 2 ninjas at John. John blocks Infiltrator with Automaton and takes 1. Infiltrator and Yuriko trigger. Dan hypes himself up and then reveals Tainted Pact, with each opponent taking 2, and Tyler dies. With all the discussing here, the table forgot to resolve the draw for Infiltrator here. In his second main phase, Dan casts Rug of Smothering in an act of total desperation. He passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He goes to combat, swinging all his creatures at Dan. Dan blocks Ninja Bowmaster with Rug and takes the rest. Yuriko triggers 1 time. John holds priority and casts Vampiric Tutor. Nick goes ahead and scoops it up here before John even gets to show his fun 15 drop he can put on top. And with that, John wins the game. Today, we have a 2-for-1 deal. In this game, Tyler's playing Dargo the Shipwrecker and Tymna the Weaver. This deck looks to loop Dargo with Relic Legends or Burgi in a sacrifice outlet, or it can win with Underworld Breach. His hand contains a Goblin Engineer, Burnt Offering, Soul Ring, Demonic Tutor, Static Prison, and Polluted Delta. His London Mulligan is a Mayhem Devil. Dan is again playing Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. His hand contains a 4th Bridge Prowler, Grand, Orcish Bowmasters, Limdul's Vault, Fierce Guardianship, Underground Sea, and an Island. John is playing Ghave, Guru of Spores. This walking combo pile goes infinite with any 3 cards in the deck. This deck usually wins through an Aristocrat-style loop or an Undying combo. His hand contains a Bloom Tender, Diabolic Intent, Veil of Summer, Dark Ritual, Chrome Mox, Smothering Tithe, and Gemstone Caverns. Nick is again playing Malcolm, Keen-Eye Navigator, and Vial Smasher the Fierce. His hand contains a Lively Dirge, Wheel of Fortune, Talion the Kindly Lord, Rite of Flame, Ancient Tomb, and Marsh Flats. And with that, let's see some value plays. John has a pregame action, putting Gemstone Caverns into play, exiling Veil of Summer. Tyler then starts things off with a Polluted Delta as land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up a Badlands. He casts a Soul Ring. He casts Felwar Stone. Tyler passes the turn. Dan plays an Underground Sea as land for turn. He casts a Grand. Dan then passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He plays a Forest as land for turn. He casts Chrome Mox, imprinting Diabolic Intent as it enters. He casts a Dark Ritual. He casts Smothering Tithe, begging Dan to just let him be. Amazingly, Tithe resolves. With just 1 card in hand, John passes the turn. Nick goes to his first draw step of the game and Tithe triggers to make a treasure. He plays a Misty Rainforest as land for turn. He then passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. Tithe triggers to make a treasure. Tyler casts Goblin Engineer. It enters and triggers to entomb a Relic of Legends. He then casts Static Prison. It enters and triggers to exile Smothering Tithe over John's Cries. He then passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He plays a Snow-Covered Island as land for turn. He goes to combat and swings Grand at Nick. It triggers to draw and discard a card. Nick pays a life and cracks Misty Rainforest, fetching up a Volcanic Island. He then declares no blocks, and Dan activates the Commander Ninjutsu ability of Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. It enters tapping and attacking Nick, and he takes the damage. Yuriko triggers to reveal a Moth Dust Changeling, with each opponent taking 1. In his second main phase, Dan plays 4 life to cast Snuff Out, targeting Goblin Engineer. It's destroyed, and Dan passes the turn. John untaps and draws. He casts Sylvan Library. He casts the last card in his hand, Bloom Tender. Totally hellbent, John passes the turn. Nick untaps and draws. He plays Ancient Tomb as land for turn. He casts his commander, Malcolm, Keen-Eye Navigator. Nick then passes the turn. Tyler untaps and draws. In his first main phase, he pays an energy to keep Static Prison. He plays a Blood Crypt as land for turn, into play on tap, paying 2 life. He casts a Mayhem Devil. John and Dan groan as it resolve. Tyler then casts Demonic Tutor, daring Dan to counter it. Dan responds with a Fierce Guardianship. Tyler then passes the turn. Dan untaps and draws. He goes to combat, swinging Yuriko at John. John takes the damage, and Yuriko triggers, revealing River of Tears. In his second main phase, he plays River of Tears as land for turn. He casts Bloodchief Ascension. Dan then passes the turn. John untaps, and in his upkeep, Dan casts Orcish Bowmasters. It enters and triggers to ping Bloom Tender for 1, killing it. In his draw step, John draws 2 extra through Sylvan Library, paying 8 life to keep them both. Bowmaster triggers twice to ping Malcolm, killing it. John plays Verdant Catacombs as land for turn. He casts a Birthing Pod. John then passes the turn. In his end step, Bloodchief gets its first counter. Nick untaps and draws. He plays a Marsh Flats as land for turn. He pays life and cracks it, fetching up an Underground Sea. Mayhem pings Bowmaster for 1, killing it. He casts Talion, the Kindly Lord, naming 2 as it enters. Nick then passes the turn. In his end step, Bloodchief gets its second counter. Tyler untaps and draws. In his first main phase, Static Prison sacrifices and Smothering Tithe returns to the battlefield. Mayhem pings Yuriko for 1. He sacrifices both of his rocks to help cast his commander, Dargo the Shipwrecker. Mayhem triggers twice to ping Yuriko for 2, killing it. Tyler casts Burnt Offering, sacrificing Dargo as an additional cost. Mayhem pings Dan for 1. Tyler makes 3 black and 4 red mana. He spends 2 on Underworld Breach. Talion triggers to ping Tyler for 2 and draw. Breach resolves, and Tyler escapes Relic of Legends from his grave. He casts Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer. Talion triggers to ping him and draw. He taps Ragavan to Relic for a red mana. He then recasts Dargo, sacrificing Ragavan and Mayhem Devil as an additional cost. He casts Burnt Offering from grave, exiling 3 cards and sacrificing Dargo as an additional cost. He makes 7 new mana, putting Dargo in the grave. He escapes Demonic Tutor from grave, exiling the only 3 cards in his grave, including Dargo, which he moves to the command zone. Talion triggers to ping him and draw. Tyler surges up and casts Goblin Bombardment. Talion triggers to ping him and draw. Bombardment then resolves. Tyler can now present a loop of casting Dargo for 1 red mana and tapping it to Relic to make the red mana back. He can then sacrifice it to Goblin Bombardment to ping an opponent for 1. He does this over and over until his opponents are all dead. And with that, Tyler wins the game. So, what did we learn today? Bloodchief Ascension is the best 1-drop in Magic. If it's online, you win the game. If it doesn't get online, you lose the game. Also, 3 players with symmetric burn effects can really make the endgame tough to navigate. If you have any tips for the video, leave them below. Subscribe if you feel like it. Until next time, keep making value plays.
You can't print artifacts.
What? Oh, for fuck's sakes. Okay, that helps then. You print this force of negation.
That helps?
Yeah, it makes it so there's no decision.
Great, I'm glad you gave up the interaction.
I love Dan, dude.
Yeah.
Every
Am I good?
time he's like, yeah, I don't
Am I
think this
good?
counter spell. Oh, brother. I'm stopping Dan on his turn.
Of casting Roaming
Yeah,
Throne.
fuck Roaming Throne.
Oh.
I'm doing this for the good of the table.
Could you not have just got like Deluge and wiped this whole board?
I don't have Deluge.
Oh.
I never put it
Why
in.
are your
I haven't
control
put it in.
decks like this?
Oh, my bad.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go, little bitch.
I guess I'm gonna submerge, targeting my own Orcish.
In what world is there a forest?
Oh, is there no forest out there? Really?
Get the fuck out of
plus
here.
you're
No one's
still-
even playing
You're
green.
gonna shuffle anyways, right?
It would go on top and then you'd fucking fetch. Yeah, Jesus.
I'd rather that.
Alright.
No, he's
Yeah,
dead.
that guy dies.
He's dead.
Dan, you take 2 and I gain 2. If we just like ping off his 1-1.
Crazy, but yeah.
Well,
I got
I'm saying I'll mow down his board and I'll never shoot yours with
No,
it.
but then you're gonna run away with Bloodchief. But you gain 6 life or more a turn because we all play our cards. Because why wouldn't we play our cards? It's Magic.
Dude, literally, I hear you, but you're gonna be at 5. You're gonna psych riff this, and then you'll win the game with whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna win the game with whatever.
Look, he's so ready. It's gonna be 1 because it's gonna be Bowman.
Well, okay.
Any thoughts, Dan?
You're gonna. Okay. Well, because you told me, I'm gonna submerge.
It's not free.
Why the fuck?
Shut the fuck up.
No, so
Dan.
stupid. God.
It's the same card.
Because you told me there's no forest.
Yeah. Now there's a
I am
forest.
so certain there's a forest somewhere.
Okay.
Show me your life.
There's no blocks.
Dan, you blow me out every game.
Dan literally has 4 creatures in Nanogene still.
And you know what? Get rid of 2 more, and then we should really talk about.
And then we should really have a different
talk
talk.
about John. I'm saying.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I have to reveal it.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
What the hell's going on over there? Put that faster back in that deck.
Shit,
This fucking guy.
After we've all burned Force of Wills and 3/4 of our deck.
Yeah, I'll grab that.
Wow, he is getting it.
Hey, Dan.
Huh?
Just remember,
What?
there's a Thassa's Oracle coming up.
Oh no.
So anyway, I started jamming. And I'm saying you don't block
Oh.
me, and I'll fucking I'll let that guy in to be a new
I'm gonna be
Aegeus
honest.
infiltrator.
I feel like that's risky. So you're gonna get 3 burns.
Oh yeah, I'm
Right.
super dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if I take that deal, I feel like we're gonna die.
Okay, let me get 2. I won't swing this guy. I'll give you 1, and you give
Dan,
me 2.
Tell
You
him
can't
no.
tutor. You can't tutor.
Great. I don't have one. Good.
Either. Oh, okay.
Let's go.
I
All
don't
right.
have one yet.
Huh? Yeah, you can't.
Well,
That's just
It's
how it works. You
fucking
can't do
game,
it.
dude.
Wrong.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I hate
I'm
that.
gonna swing this one guy in at you. I want to do the draw first.
Okay. 2 Bowmaster triggers.
Shred.
Come on. Huh?
Go on!
What are we gonna do?
No.
Kill Recruiter?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
That's
It hurts
fine.
him.
Do I get to live no matter what?
Well, for now, yeah. Oh, good. 1.
No matter what, I said.
God.
Dude, Tyler's gonna win.
All you gotta do is bounce the thing, and then the game's over.
Yeah, literally, dude. If you top deck fucking Psych Riff, you're in it.
He's all
this
happy
guy.
now.
Yeah.
This fucking Blood
He's like,
Chief is like winning the
"No,
fucking
you
game by
do
2
me."
miles. This is a problem. John's like, I never played Yuriko once. Somehow has a full grip out of nowhere, dude.
Right.
I'll buy my time.
Please heal me.
Look.
Dude,
Like,
this
I
is
called
nuts.
I called it a turn second
Brother.
ahead of time.
6.
Alright, 1 to 6.
I don't know
Yeah,
how to
1
help.
to 6.
My own
4.
lines hurt me. These two
What is
hurt
it?
me.
Fuck.
Oh!
Oh,
Wow,
wow,
the gamble!
Dude, we're down here in hell.
Holy shit. Dude, what sucks is if I swing at John, he's clearly gonna win, and I'm gonna kill both of you.
Take out the trash for me, boys.
26.
What is your Mockingbird?
Oh wait, we got some.
That's a Yuriko, right?
That's a Yuriko, yeah.
Oh, he's dead. You're about
This
to flip
is
them
how
dead.
many.
Mine,
Maybe I shouldn't attack with Yuriko. If John lets us in, I literally am just throwing the game to John.
I 100% would.
That's how I feel too, honestly. I can't attack John with ninjas because then I'm basically.
But you're also gonna kill me. Yuriko's the dumbest fucking card in the history of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you might want to do some.
I'm gonna kill
He's
you.
gonna get
This
Yuriko.
is why Yuriko is so dumb.
I can only block one of them. It's pretty stupid.
What if I demonic consultation for Deadly Rollick?
If you
You
cast
die.
2 spells, you die.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Welcome to hell.
For a rug of smothering.
You know that's symmetric. You know if you cast a spell, you lose.
Yeah, I guess I'm not casting any spells, man.
Okay, am I good? Yeah, it's a card that wins the game. What do you mean?
I'm gonna hit Goblin Engineer.
No, but it's just Dan always fucking
Yeah.
has it for me, but John gets to play
I-
Tithe for free
Yeah.
under the blue man's. Like you
Yeah.
have all the power,
I
Dan,
just
and you're
didn't have
like,
it.
Am I
I
good
just
to go?
didn't have it for
Tithe
some
is
reason.
cool. It's fucking criminal. But if I played Tithe, it would have been blown to
Dude,
bits.
I will tell you, if you
Whoa.
play
So
if you play
crazy.
Tithe now, it will.
100%. No, it's
Alright,
it's not.
I'm
it's
casting
not
Sylvan
even-
Library.
It's just what I drew. It's just
Literally
what
not
I
even
drew.
a
Sylvan
question.
Library.
Dan, what do you got for that?
Yeah,
I'm sure
Dan.
nothing. Pass.
Alright, great. Here's a Bloom Tender.
Dan,
I already showed
what do you got
Dan.
for Bloom Tender?
I don't have anything.
Oh god.
I am passing.
Dan, what do you got in my upkeep? Dan, I got my draw step. Dan, I'm moving to main one. What do you got? Mayhem Resolve, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm asking Dan. He said that if I tried
yeah.
to play anything else, it wasn't going to get through.
Yeah.
He said,
Didn't
if you
say
tried to
that.
play a Tithe
I
now,
said-
you wouldn't make it through.
That's what I was.
So
that's
I'm
what I
asking
did.
about
Yeah.
every card.
You
No,
only have
okay.
Swan Song.
Yeah. All right, here's a D tutor. I'm sure that doesn't make it through, right? Show it to me, Dan. You're going to show it to me. It's always
No.
been
Yeah, you
good.
probably should.
Do you think so? Normally you get what he
He
chooses.
just listens to every single
I mean,
thing
if
that
you-
John said. That's
If
crazy.
you can counter a creature, yeah, but like it's a creature combo deck.
Counter it then.
I don't know if you can counter a creature. I'm just saying.
Counter with the guy's got
Wait
50
on it.
mana and a draw engine and whatever he wants. Do it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd say do it. YOLO.
It's in the grave. I
Wow.
pass.
Yeah, there you go.
that's incredible.
Oh.
That's so cool.
Shut
Dan, you're awesome.
No, stop.
No, I'm
You don't ask me
saying.
for playing
You
the
didn't
game
untap
every
your
day.
commander.